Hi, it's Tamara here from the EFT Training Centre, and in my Facebook Live into this lovely group, I thought I'd give you a short presentation about how EFT can help you in your business and with your parenting. So hopefully you can all hear me. I'm just assuming this is all working well. I can see someone is watching, so if you can hear me, can you just like comment and say yes, I can hear you? That would be amazing. Anyway, so I'm Tamara. I'm an EFT master trainer and practitioner. Together with my husband, we run trainings for people to become practitioners both in the UK, in Singapore. We're hoping to go post lockdown. We're hoping to go, we've been invited to Australia and even Bhutan. So watch this space. Thank you, Jenny. And I'm author of the upcoming book, Frazzled to Fabulous in 5 minutes a day, which is to help mums regain their calm, enjoy their kids and get more done. And I specialise in all things motherhood, fertility, pregnancy, birth, and things like that. And my website's tamaradon.com. And I'm going to be sharing my social media links with you as well in the comments below. So just to start with, EFT can help with so much, but just to give you an idea, it can help with stress, anxiety, overwhelm, exhaustion, upsetting memories, addictions, phobias, aches and pains, the emotional aspects of physical issues, goal settings for your business, and limiting beliefs like I'm not good enough. So that's just some of the things that EFT can help you with. And EFT can specifically help with your parenting because it can help you with any challenging behaviours that you're having with your children, be it tantrums or fussy eating or sleep challenges or rudeness, anything. It can also empower your children with an incredible tool that can help them to release fears and anxieties. And this tool is literally at their fingertips, and once you teach them and you start parenting with this tool, they will have this tool for the rest of their lives. And my daughter actually says to me, because she's grown up with EFT, and she says to me, well, she said to me when she was younger, she said to me, Mummy, what do people do who haven't got EFT? Because it literally, you can release everything, and we've used it with her in so many different situations. To help her with fears that she's had, to help her with her GCSEs that she had, exam stress, etc., etc. And it can also help you with your own anger, frustration, anxiety and stress that you have about your child, because often we worry so much, is our child okay? Because this and that is happening, whether they're being bullied at school, all sorts of things. So we can help manage our anxiety, release that so that we can be stronger, more grounded and better mums for our children. And it can help you to become a more loving and compassionate mum. So the amazing thing is EFT can also help you in your business. It can help you release limiting beliefs like, I haven't got what it takes. And I've had so many people here, because I also do supervision and mentoring for my EFT practitioners, and they often say, oh, I feel like such a fraud, and EFT can help with those kind of beliefs. Or I'm not as good as others. And you know how we're scrolling through Facebook and seeing all these fantastic, successful people. I'm never going to be as successful as them, and all those kind of feelings it can help with. And can help you with procrastination, help you get more focused, help you with goal setting, help you visualize your dream of where you want to take your business. And it can help with things like public speaking as well. So I've got a couple of EFT stories, feedback from mums who have shared very briefly. So it's just 3 very brief feedback that mums have given me. So Sophie says, tapping with my youngest this morning because she was a bit upset because as her big sister wasn't going to school today. I asked her what she was feeling, and she said jealous. And she said, most of the time I want to go to school, but sometimes I just don't. So we tapped on that for her. Her jealousy feeling went down from a 10 out of 10 to just a 3 out of 10 in just one round, and one round takes about 5 minutes. And then down to, it's all gone and I can't feel anything. And then she said, I feel so excited. So we tapped on that. She said, I want to feel excited. So we tapped on that, and just one round and she was up and at 'em, according to Sophie Michael. So that's a lovely testimonial. And then another mum, Catherine, says, just had a wonderful tapping experience with my 15-year-old son. He starts his year 10 exams tomorrow, and they're a really big deal to him. He's worked really hard for the last few weeks revising. He confided in me tonight that he's super stressed and anxious, particularly about biology. He said he'd like to do some tapping. The intensity of his anxiety was 9 out of 10. When we finished, it was 0. All his initial fears of failing and not having done enough revision were dispelled. I then tested him on 15 difficult questions and he nailed it. He said, the tapping's really helped me focus. I know I can do it. Can we tap every night, please, Mum? So humbling. And that's from Catherine Everett. And lastly, Bronte says, on a train journey at the weekend, my smallest, almost 2, scratched my other daughter's face, age 5. There was no retaliation or complaining to me. Before I could say anything, she very calmly picked up her little sister's hand and started doing EFT. What really surprised me is that the EFT statement that she used was, even though I've hurt my sister and I might feel a bit bad about it, I'm still a great kid. So I'm finding that EFT isn't just helping her deal with her own issues, but also to think about others too. So very proud and very absolutely fascinated to watch the effects of this amazing therapy unfolding in so many different wonderful ways. And that's Bronte Maria Rawlinson. So just 3 very brief little stories. So what exactly is EFT? So it's like talk therapy, but it's got a physical component because we do tapping on various parts of our face. You can use it on almost anything, and it usually gives rapid results. And I would say that with my clients, my one-to-one clients, I'd say that 80% of them get good results in a relatively short period of time. I'd say the remaining 20% will get good results after a longer period of time, and obviously some are very difficult to work with. And it's really like acupuncture without the use of needles. So if you go to an acupuncturist, they'd be sticking needles into these points, and we just simply tap on them. And it's a process to identify and eliminate your unconscious blocks to success so that you can achieve your goals more easily. And of course, that is so important in our businesses. And with the supervision work that I do, I've helped a lot of practitioners. Well, I obviously work with EFT practitioners, but it relates to all different businesses as well. And it's such an empowering technique because although the fastest and best results occur with a practitioner, there is so much that you can do on your own. And in just 5 minutes, if you were to do just 5 minutes every day, if you could find 5 minutes out of your 1,440 minutes a day of your very busy day, I know very busy being a mum, juggling children, business, it's a lot. But if you can find 5 minutes of yourself to tap every day, it's literally life-changing. And there's so much more I could say about this but I don't want to, well, I'll say a little bit. A few years ago, I ran a 30-day challenge with hundreds of mums, and all I asked them to do was watch a 5-minute tapping video of me every day for 5 minutes a day. And I said to them, if you do this, it would help you regain your calm, enjoy your kids, and get more done. But the unexpected side effects were phenomenal. They reported things like, I've stopped needing that glass of wine at the end of the day or that bar of chocolate. I've stopped needing coffee to get up in the morning. I wake up feeling refreshed and raring to go. And this is from a mum who was really struggling to get up in the morning. She was feeling a bit down and anxious and depressed. One mum said, I've stopped spending money on myself to make myself feel better because I feel so good. Other mums have reported that their partners and husbands said, what have you been doing because you seem so happy? And what else was there? Yes, different aches and pains have started disappearing, even though we never tapped on aches and pains. One woman said she stopped having period pains. Another mum said that this recurrent nausea that she was experiencing disappeared. She wasn't pregnant. So lots and lots of incredible side effects. And yeah, it is amazing, Jenny, absolutely. And because the challenge was so incredibly successful, I've packaged everything that was in the challenge into a book. And that is the book that I finished writing. I'm just waiting to get it published. I am procrastinating, tap, tap, tap. But it's called Frazzle to Fabulous in 5 minutes a day. And that's what it's going to be about. It's going to be about step by step, taking you through this process so that you too can get these amazing, amazing experiences in your life. Excuse me. So also it is an empowering and easy do-it-yourself technique that is so simple that children can use it. And you might be thinking, what age can I start? Well, the youngest person, I know, Jenny, you've got a little one. Well, the youngest person that I've tapped on was a 4-month-old baby. And this was my sister-in-law's little baby. And he was not feeding properly. And so she said to me, you know, all the usual stuff, what can I do? And I said all the usual mum stuff that one would say. And he hadn't been feeding properly for about 48 hours. And she was a bit concerned. So I said, well, why don't I do some tapping on him? And she was holding him. So I gently, very, very gently started tapping. I think it was just gently on his face, gentlest, lightest touch. And I must have tapped on him for a few minutes, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. And after a while, she was holding him. He started doing this as if he was looking for the breast. And so she gave him a feed and he latched on so well. And he had a really good feed like he hadn't done for the last couple of days. And he fell into a deep sleep and she was very relieved. So it's amazing. And of course, you know, you can use it in all the ages in between that and adulthood. So what else do I want to say? So what does EFT do? Well, it has an effect. It has an effect on cortisol. Cortisol is the hormone that that is associated with stress in our body. So when we feel stressed, we release cortisol. And there have been some research that has been done, and in one particular study, what they found was that there was one group who had an hour of EFT, one group had an hour of talk therapy, one group had an hour of that they were a control, and the only group that had a statistically significant reduction of cortisol levels, the stress hormone, was the group that had EFT, a 24% reduction in cortisol levels, and so they have said, they concluded that the EFT has a calming effect on the amygdala, and the amygdala is the part of the brain that is connected with releasing cortisol. And in terms of traditional Chinese medicine, we've talked about acupuncture. There are meridians that run all through the body, and these meridians are like energy lines. So what happens is these meridians are like garden hose pipes, and instead of water flowing through the garden hose pipes, you have energy flowing through the garden hose pipes. So when you have a kink in a garden hose pipe, the water can't flow through. When you have a kink in an energy line, the meridians, the energy can't flow through. And these kinks are like the negative emotions, the anxiety, the stress, the overwhelm, the exhaustion. But when you tap on these points, it has an effect of actually straightening up these meridians and releasing those negative emotions. And there's a lot more research that you can read about on the website that I have shared there. So I just want to say a little bit about the well-being scale. So this is something that Peter, my husband, has put together. So as I said, we're both trainers together, and it's a combination of various different ways of looking at measuring one's well-being. But particularly what I want to talk about here is for mums and mums in business. Think about where you are on that well-being scale. And I know you're going to have to tip your head a bit, but where you are on the well-being scale when you wake up in the morning. If you've had a bad night's sleep because your child's woken you up, your baby, you're exhausted, maybe your to-do list has been spinning around in your head because you've got so much to do. Maybe it's you've been thinking about all the things that you shouldn't have done and you did do, and it's kind of you're repeating these stories and conversations, or you're thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow and how you're going to get it all done. And you wake up exhausted. Where do you think you are on that well-being scale? You're going to be frustrated, exhausted, overwhelmed, impatient, depressed maybe, anxious. And those are all down on the negative scale. So you might be -5, -6, -7. So when you then have an interaction with your child, maybe, you know, you're sitting at the breakfast table and your child doesn't want to eat their breakfast, how do you think you're going to respond from that place of impatience and exhaustion? And you haven't had your cup of coffee yet. You're probably going to snap at them. You're probably going to be really irritated and frustrated. And you're not going to be the mum that you would love to be, the calm, patient, loving mum who everything rolls off your back. Well, with EFT, you can start releasing and breaking down all of those feelings, those negative feelings, so that you can start being the mum you want to be and stop having that guilt that we all have when we want to be that kind of kind, loving mum, but all that comes out of our mouths is shouting and frustration. And maybe the words that we swore we'd never say, that we heard our mum say, and we say, I'm never going to speak like that, and suddenly you hear that come out of your mouth, all that guilt that we put on ourselves. So that is how EFT can help with your parenting. And think about a goal that you want to have in your business. Maybe you want to increase your client base by a certain amount in the next 6 months, but you feel quite overwhelmed at the thought of that because you know that you're juggling so much, and particularly when you're trying to juggle kids and your homeschooling as well as trying to put time into your business, there's going to be some overwhelm. So you're focusing on this goal that you really want, and yet you're feeling frustrated, overwhelmed, anxious about how you're going to achieve that, and if you don't achieve it, how you're going to make money, and etc, etc, etc. Again, EFT can start helping you release all of that overwhelm, release all that anxiety, so that you can start being more aligned with your goals, with your intentions. And for those of you who are into law of attraction, if you don't know what it is, just don't worry. You can Google it, or you can ask me another time and I'll explain it to you. But this works so beautifully with the law of attraction when you're trying to attract what you want into your life, and it will release all the blocks and limiting beliefs to that. So I'm really doing this very much in a nutshell. There is so much more I could say, but I'm not going to today. So if you want to find out more about EFT, what you can do is you can download my free EFT manual, and I've put the links here, but I'm also going to share them in the comments below so that you can easily access them. You can also download a free de-stress EFT video for mums so that you can start releasing that stress straight away. And what you get with that video is a little explanation video going through the points, and it's something that I haven't done here, but you can access that and get a little bit more detail about it. We've got a couple of workshops coming up. So one is on the 2nd of July, one's on the 5th of August. And these are EFT experience events, and they're suitable for people who've never tried EFT before and just want to have a go and see if it's for them. And also it's good for people who are experienced, because Peter and I will be doing loads of tapping with you. So you'll get to experience tapping with either of us personally, or get to witness other people being tapped on and how it helps them. So it's kind of like a really good introduction of just like having a feel of where EFT can take you. and you might like to attend an EFT training course or book a one-to-one session, which is obviously the fastest way to work with your problems. So what I've got is this link, which has got links to all my different social medias and links to my website, etc., etc. So again, I'm going to share that in the group, and you can see what takes your fancy, and you can have a look at that. So that's all I really wanted to say. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for taking the time.